All right, Andrew Wiggins has had a fantastic year, and no one would argue that. Bit of a surprise, though, this week with the fan voting for All-Star. He would actually be a starter if it ended today.
You're right.
It does not. Yeah, but he has definitely made a nice jump. We'll certainly see if he can sneak in as a sneaky underdog starter for the West #2 team. Although, listen, that matters very little because it hasn't been a good stretch for the Warriors, and that's what they're concerned about, right? They've lost 4 of 5 for the first time this season. They hadn't dropped consecutive games before this stretch, but now they've done so twice in just the last 10 days. You could point to their offense. It's been held under 100 points 4 times in this 5-game span. That's just the first time under Steve Kerr. In fact, their offensive efficiency is ranking dead last in that span, and their superstar Steph has gone cold. In his last 5 games, he's averaging 18 points, and he's just 10 made threes. That matches his fewest in a 5-game span over the last 6 years. NBA Countdown gets a set.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose. I am Greeny, and tonight we are delighted to have the return of the one, the only.
Back.
Stephen A. Smith is back and better than ever. It has been far too long since we've seen that face. Steve, we were all delighted to see you. When you heard the setup, we got the Warriors and the Bulls going head-to-head tonight. Both of them coming off of bad losses, embarrassing type of losses. Yeah. Who are you more concerned about right now, the Warriors or the Bulls?
Of course it's the Chicago Bulls. I mean, I'm not worried about the Warriors. Me a bag of shells. I'm stealing that line from Ralph Cramden and the Honeymooners, okay, which I've been watching a lot over the last month. Bottom line is I'm not concerned about them at all. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, let's take into account the fact that Klay Thompson just returned. Klay Thompson's averaging 14 points a game on 35% shooting from the field and from three-point range. When has Klay Thompson shot 35% from the field or from three-point range in his career? That answer would be never. There's no concern there. Draymond Green essentially has missed the last 4 games in which they've lost 3. He's a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. We know what he means to them defensively and offensively, how he positions guys to get the kind of shots they're capable of getting. On the other hand, we look on the East, and we've got the Chicago Bulls, #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Shots. When you look at DeMar DeRozan only getting 16 shots, when you see the way that they were completely neutralized by a very energized and defensive-minded Brooklyn Nets team that particular night, I'm sorry, when I think about Milwaukee on the come-up, they're the reigning defending champions. We know what Miami is capable of, particularly when Bam Adebayo comes back. We know what the Brooklyn Nets are capable of because they showed Chicago, and we know that Philly's on the come-up as well. I think that Chicago, there's far more concern for them than a Golden State Warriors team that is championship tried, true, and tested.
Well, keeping with the Honeymooners theme, let me throw in a little humana for Jalen Rose over here. The Golden State Warriors at one point in time were 18-2. Simple math tells us since that time they're 12-9. They have not been themselves since the end of November. So with that as the framing, which team concerns you more right now?
I'll still say the Chicago Bulls, but the Golden State Warriors are 28-6 when Draymond Green plays. They're 2-5 when he doesn't. A big-time anchor for them. He creates offense as an initiator, a screener, the dribble handoff action, and he guards multiple positions defensively. But for the Bulls, it's the competition in the East. The Nets' big 3, even with Kyrie as a part-time player, waxed them the other day. We saw how good the Bucks just looked in waxing the Golden State Warriors just last night, and they're 0-2 this year against the Miami Heat, who's getting Bam back today and will get Jimmy Butler back.
What do you think, Wilbon?
And 0-2 against Philly. My Bulls are as well. I'm not worried about either one of them. These are the dog days of the season as you approach the All-Star game, which is a week later. Jalen knows this better than anybody else in our group, and this is what happens. Listen, the Bulls' worries, the worries I have about them are concerning their defense with Caruso out. You know, how they have sunk defensively since he's been off the floor, Lonzo Ball back. That helps. It's not the one game. The Bulls waxed Brooklyn in Brooklyn. The Nets in Brooklyn. Stephen A. has got, you know, some memory issues going on. He's just conveniently forgot about that game. Look, the big blowout losses don't concern me about the Warriors or the Bulls. I expect the Bulls to bounce back tonight. And one more, to put a point on it, the Bulls needed that loss. They don't need to be hearing how great they are all the time, how they got 2 MVP guys and 2 closers and the best finishers. They needed to get popped so they can listen to their coach and be a little bit worried and get back to tough, hard-nosed basketball tonight, which is what I expect. That loss, Stephen A., was coming. It was owed them. Now let's see what they do coming off of it.
We will let Stephen A. respond to that on Countdown coming up, but I've got Woj standing by right now. Let me bring him in here because, Woj, I want to go all the way back to the beginning of the season. Before it began, the Bulls were not a playoff team last year. We wondered, how would all these pieces come together? Why has it and how has it come together so quickly for this team with all their offseason acquisitions?
Yeah, Greeny, I talked to Michael Reinsdorf, the COO of the Bulls, and obviously part of ownership. He hired Arturas Karnisovas in April of 2020 to run basketball operations for the Bulls. He may be the league's executive of the year. He's certainly one of the front runners. And Reinsdorf said to me, listen, I expected Arturas was going to eventually turn us around. I did not imagine he would do it this quickly. And you look at the hiring of Billy Donovan, the trade last year of Nikola Vucevic at the deadline, and then what they did in free agency this summer, not the least of which was Alex Caruso, who they signed from the Lakers. And defensively, Caruso, as Michael Wilbon mentioned, has had an immense impact on this team. I'm told that Caruso, who's been out since December 20th with a foot sprain and then COVID, he's still in COVID protocols, likely will return on Wednesday against Cleveland.
All right, we will see. Again, we got Golden State and Chicago tonight. Looking forward to it. We have Countdown coming your way at the top of the next hour, 7 Eastern here on ESPN. Meanwhile, Brian, back to you.
All right, Green, thank you. Yes, that's right. We got a Friday night doubleheader. Steph Curry leading those Warriors against DeMar DeRozan and the Eastern Conference leading Bulls, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And then you got two top teams in the West. You got Luka and the Mavs taking on Memphis, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, 4 and 5 in the West. NBA Countdown begins at the top of the hour, 7 Eastern, ESPN and the ESPN app.
Live from Los Angeles.
Well, it was supposed to be a potential finals preview, and I guess it still could be, but man, one team stole the show and left another searching for answers in Pfizer Forum. Plus, Big Perk, he wants to talk about the streaking Grizz, why he's prepared to double down on his take that Ja is the next Michael Jordan. Carry on. Plus, the latest on the status of Anthony Davis, Dave McMenamin, on when Laker Nation can expect AD back, all of that and much more on NBA Today, which starts right now. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews, joined by Matt Barnes and Kendrick Perkins. Adrian Wojnarowski and Zach Lowe are going to be joining us in just a little bit. I would say, where should we start? But it feels like the defending champs made that easy for us. We have to start in Pfizer Forum. So let's head there now. Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks taking on Steph Curry and the Warriors. Remember, Klay Thompson, he was playing in this one. There we see Giannis and Thanasis doing their little dance ahead of the game. First quarter, the Warriors had 21 points as a team. Giannis and Chris Middleton, they combined for 22 points, Matt Barnes.
I mean, hats off to the Bucks. Solid performance.
Well, and then Steph Curry, he just could get nothing going. So check this out. Double team him. Bobby Portis steals the ball, goes all the way to the other end, and finishes with the slam. Curry finished with just 12 points and was a team worst minus 25. You can see him there again. Just getting double teamed. There's his stat line. He doesn't like it. He knows he's in a little bit of a slump, scratching his face there. But this is what Giannis Antetokounmpo does. Passes it over to Bobby Portis. That's why they love him in Milwaukee.
Is that the right score at half?
Absolutely. And it's a good thing you mentioned it. 39-point halftime deficit. That's the largest since they moved to California in 62-63. That has been a long time. It's the last time you ate a salad, Perk. My goodness, got it all the way to the basket. He made it look easy against them last night.
Most dominant
Warriors,
player in the NBA.
They lose to the Bucks. Here's Steve Kerr after the game.
I know we just got our butts kicked, but we're just in a rough patch in our season. It happens to every team every year pretty much, with very few exceptions, and we're in a little bit of a rut.
Today was a good day, no matter the outcome of the game, up 30, 40, 20, that we built good habit moving forward, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember this game in 2 months. We have to realize that we are a very big target right now. Everybody wants to be the champs. Everybody's going to come and play. We have to keep building good habits so we can be good in May and June.
All right, well, that about summed it up. Giannis said that they have a target. They're building towards May, they're building towards June, and nobody is going to remember this game come then, although I kind of think a couple people just might. But that also means we should probably talk about this game now, welcoming in Zach Lowe, our senior writer. So I want to start with you, though, Matt Barnes, since you're here right next to me. Your biggest takeaway from this game was what?
Solid performance by the Bucks, and Giannis dominated. But as Giannis said, it's still the middle of January.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, we could dive into Giannis, and the biggest takeaway, I mean, one of the things is his playmaking ability. When you look at Giannis, you know, that growth of making others around him better. Look, he's already the most dominant player in the NBA, but now when he's able to go out there and get 30 and get others involved, he's elevating his game into a whole nother level. But I will say this game showed us last night in the past few games of why Draymond Green is the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors.